Hey you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here to talk for just a few minutes about Ryan Anderson. I had some recent thoughts, especially, I'm literally almost done listening to Gypsy Rose's audiobook, and coming kind of to the finish line of that, I had some random thoughts about Ryan. So either way, I'm just going to talk for a few minutes. If you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So, like I said, I've got literally about 30 or so minutes left listening to her audiobook, and I'm going to deliver that video very, very soon. But after listening to this book and listening to her stomp all over Nick and come up with, in my opinion, this very fictionalized version of what was going on, I thought back to Ryan, and I also realized it's been a while since we've heard from Ryan. He has not posted on TikTok, he has not posted on his Instagram, he has not been going live, at least from what I have gathered, and he's very, very quiet. And I think that what this does is it confirms what I've been saying for a very long time, and that is Gypsy Rose will use you and keep you in this web with her, and everything will seem great. As soon as she decides that she is done with somebody, they are set free, never to be checked on again, never to be spoken about in a positive manner again. You are just exiled from her life. And the reason that it's different with Ryan, and I've said this recently, but just to be clear, I'm not a huge Ryan Anderson fan at all. But the reason that it's different with Ryan is because this is playing out very publicly, since this was the relationship that she had after the crime. And this was the relationship that we saw blown up to smithereens publicly. Everything with Nick was happening, back when they were talking, nobody knew who Gypsy was, aside from a few people that were close to her and Dee Dee. But once she came to prison and ended up, aligning herself with Ryan and then getting married and throwing it in the toilet, all of that has unfolded so publicly, and I think of the impact that that would have on somebody's mental health. It's possible that Ryan is living his life, getting therapy, and just not wanting to say anything publicly. But I imagine that this has had a detrimental effect on him, despite the amount of people that are supportive of him. The only reason that I have a little bit of a soft spot for Ryan is because I'm sure that a lot of y'all watching this have been through divorce and separation. Imagine if that divorce and separation was not only going viral online, but you also had your ex-partner embarrassing you every chance that they got and more. I think that that would have a really serious impact on your mental health. And that's why I'm saying I hope that he is living his life and getting therapy. And maybe this is just the end of him being on social media and being a public figure. Time will tell. But I don't have to be a huge fan of the guy to also realize that this is incredibly difficult because it's playing out publicly.
Ryan learned my triggers, and I his. Once he told me, "You're my heart," and my body felt like it was trapped in a room filling up with water. So I cussed him out. Ryan and I talked multiple times throughout the day and for hours before bed. This enabled us to fast-track our relationship until we finally made our marriage commitment to each other. Many people, including my dad and Christy, told me not to marry Ryan. I was afraid to be accountable to someone again. As a teacher, Ryan's natural demeanor was to take charge, and that personality trait seemed to rattle me. Ryan described the apartments he was scoping out for us. Those phone calls discussing my wish list for a home made my days pass more quickly and easily. I wanted granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and hardwood floors and high ceilings. and I definitely needed a patio or a terrace, somewhere I could go to get some sun and breathe fresh air whenever I pleased. I had forgotten what night air smelled like. The car door shut, and just like that, I was alone with my husband in a warm car. There wasn't even time for a proper kiss. Ryan just pulled away as I buckled my seatbelt for the most surreal ride of my life. I thought he was going so fast. I had forgotten the sensation of moving in a car. I was afraid I'd get sick. I marveled at the iPhone Ryan handed to me, like a cave woman who traded in her sticks and rocks for a flashing, vibrating, beeping heap of plastic. I hadn't had a full night's sleep in a week. The heat from the vents lulled me, and I had felt instantly exhausted, but fought off sleep until I became hyper on the short ride. I would have put toothpicks under my eyelids to not miss a beat of this moment. Ryan and I went back to the hotel, where he had reserved a suite for our very first night together. From what we could tell, we hadn't been followed by paparazzi. We made it inside, got into our room, and gave each other a long embrace, something we could never do in the visitors' room. We were able to doze off, only to awake to a parking lot full of news vans. My white socks were turning brown underneath from exposure. I couldn't go the rest of the day shoeless. We had about an hour-and-a-half drive from Chillicothe to where my family was waiting for me at an Airbnb. As much as I couldn't wait to see them, I couldn't wait another minute to get something on my feet. So we made a pit stop at a shoe store where I'd have my first interaction with media. "Gypsy!" one reporter said as Ryan and I left the shoe warehouse. "What did you buy?" "Shoes," I said. "Gypsy, do you have plans?" "Lots of them," I said while thinking, what is this man following me for? While we drove, I leaned my head against the glass, watching Ryan trying to lose the paparazzi following him. We feared they'd follow us to the Airbnb. And then Ryan's phone rang. The conditions of my parole were a bit wonky. Usually, you are not allowed to leave the state and must regularly report to your parole officer. Since I was married to a man from Louisiana, and my entire support system was also there, we had to get special approval for me to leave Missouri.
So we may not ever see Ryan again. We'll see how it goes. But if we never see him publicly again posting content, I hope that he is able to heal and realize that during these last several months, there have been a lot of people that have been supportive of him in different degrees. Me, I support him. I don't like what he did, but I have shown support along the way. And the whole thing just sucks. I don't understand how anyone can have any lick of respect for Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Not only because of the crime, but also because of the pawns that she has used in her sick game. But that's going to be it for today. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.